The Katame-no-Kata were established in 1884 and 5 after the Nage-no-Kata. They're made up of 3 sets of techniques, each consisting of 5 representative techniques from Osaikomi-waza, Shime-waza and Kansetsu-waza. By practicing the kata, the idea is to master the theoretical basis for executing and evading each technique. In 1882, Master Jigoro Kano founded Kodokan Judo, establishing the Randori method based on Nage-waza and Katame-waza. Since then, theoretical research has led to the introduction of numerous new techniques. Together, the Nage-no-Kata and the Katame-no-Kata form the Randori-no-Kata, which were established to enable practitioners to understand and master the principles. Let's begin with the bowing. Take special note of the distance between the tori and uke and their positions. The tori and uke stand facing each other at a distance of about 5.5 meters. The tori is on the left. They turn towards the front and make a standing bow, then face each other to sit and bow. Together they stand and step forward on their left foot and into Shizen Hontai. The tori draws his left foot back and kneels, turning his right knee outwards. This kneeling posture is called kyoshi or kuraidori. All action commences from this posture. The right knee is more or less at a right angle. The left leg and hip should be aligned. He places his right hand on his knee and allows his left hand to hang naturally. Let's take another look at how the tori steps forward and back. He then kneels in kyoshi, stands up and assumes Shizen Hontai. And now let's see what the uke does when he lies back or gets up. He places his right hand on the mat in front of his left knee with the fingers turned to the left. Supporting his body with his right hand and left foot, he lies back. To get up, he supports his body with his right hand and left foot to lift his hips, draw his right foot back and resume the kyoshi kneeling posture. The osaikomi-waza are made up of 5 techniques as shown. And now from the end of the bowing to the beginning of kesagatame. From kyoshi, the uke takes 1 step forward and lies down. The tori stands up and assumes Shizen Hontai. He moves towards the uke's right until he's about 1.2 meters away and assumes kyoshi. This distance is known as toma, or the far position. He takes 2 more steps to be within a 30-centimeter reach of the uke. This is chikama, or the near position. The tori moves in and applies kesagatame. The uke is unable to break the hold and gives the signal for defeat. Mairi, give up. They both resume their positions at the beginning of kesagatame. The tori returns to chikama and assumes kyoshi. Toma is a distance of about 1.2 meters. Chikama is about 30 centimeters. The Tori moves slightly forward and traps the uke's right arm in his left armpit. He then slips his right hand under the uke's left armpit, pressing his body against the uke's to apply kesagatame. The uke attempts to escape in 3 ways, but is unable to get up. He signals maeri, give up. To signal give up, the uke should either tap the Tori's body or the mat twice or kick the floor. Using both hands, the Tori traps the uke's right arm in his left armpit. He lowers himself onto his right hip to pass his right hand under the uke's left armpit and place it on the left shoulder. The Tori puts his right knee under the uke's right shoulder while bending his left leg, placing the inside of his knee on the mat. He presses his body firmly against the uke and applies the hold. Once the Tori has applied the hold by pulling strongly with both hands, the uke tries to escape in 3 ways. He first tries to twist the Tori's left elbow. He then tries to twist his body to insert his right knee between himself and the Tori. And finally, he tries to flip the Tori over his left shoulder. The first escape method, the uke brings his right hand over to his left to try and twist the Tori's left elbow. By doing so, it's possible to lock the elbow. The second escape method is to twist to the right and slide his knee under the Tori's hips. The uke can break the hold by trapping the Tori's right leg between his legs. The third method consists of grabbing the back of the Tori's belt with his left hand and the front of the belt with his right to flip the Tori over the left shoulder. By doing so, the uke can hold the Tori down and attack. Although these are the 3 basic methods of escape, it's possible to try other appropriate methods. Whatever method he adopts, the uke must take advantage of the Tori's position to break his hold. Although this technique is now referred to as kuzure kesagatame, it was referred to collectively as kesagatame when the Katame-no-Kata were established. From kesagatame to katagatame. Unable to escape from the kesagatame, the uke signals give up. The Tori then retreats to chikama to apply katagatame. From chikama, the Tori moves forward a bit more to apply katagatame. The uke attempts to escape, trying 3 methods, but is unable to get up and signals give up. To apply the katagatame, the Tori uses both hands to push the uke's right arm up and lock the elbow. Pressing against the uke's right cheek, he wraps his arms around the uke and tightens his grip. The Tori wraps his right arm around the uke's right arm and neck. He then clasps his hands under the uke to form a cross, the right hand on top. Pressing the uke's right arm against his right cheek, he presses his right knee against the uke's right side, making sure that his instep is off the mat. He extends his left leg to the side. This is a bad example. The Tori's right knee is pressed against the uke's armpit instead of his side, and his left leg is bent. Let's look at the uke's attempts to escape the hold. He attempts 3 methods, first by pushing up with his elbows, secondly by slipping his knee under the Tori's hip, and finally by rolling backward over his left shoulder. Let's take a close look at the uke's efforts to escape the hold. First of all, he presses his right fist against his left palm and pushes up with his elbows to loosen the hold. He is able to escape by turning over. The next thing he tries is to twist and slip his right knee under the Tori's hip. He then sandwiches the Tori's right leg between his legs to escape the hold. The last thing he tries is to roll backward over his left shoulder. He manages to break the hold by turning over. Study the attack and defense, taking special note of the Tori's response to the uke's attempts at escaping. Proceeding now from kata-gatame to kami-shiho-gatame. After the uke has signaled give up, the Tori retreats from chikama to toma and assumes the kneeling posture, kyoshi. He stands in shizen hontai and turns left to move to the toma position above the uke's head. He then moves closer to the chikama position. The Tori applies kami-shiho-gatame. The uke signals give up and the Tori retreats to chikama. The Tori moves closer from chikama to kneel on his right and presses down with his body. After the uke signals give up, the Tori moves slightly back to the chikama position. Let's look at the main points of kami-shiho-gatame. The Tori slides both hands under the uke's shoulders to grab both sides of his belt. The thumb should be turned inward when grabbing the belt. The tori brings his knees towards the uke's shoulders, feet pressed down. The uke attempts to escape the hold. First, by wrapping his arm around the tori's neck to push his head to the side. He then tries inserting his left hand under the tori's arm to twist to the side. Finally, he tries pushing the tori's shoulders up with both hands, slipping his knees between their bodies. Let's take another look at the uke's attempts to escape. He wraps his left arm around the tori's neck to try and flip him over. Once he succeeds in flipping the tori over, he can hold him down. He slips his left hand under the uke's arm and tries to escape by twisting to the side. He can escape the hold by turning over. He pushes the tori's shoulders up with both hands and tries to slip his knees between their bodies. By pushing the tori up and sliding both knees between their bodies, he can turn over and escape the hold. He can also roll backwards and attack by grabbing from behind. This time, note how the tori uses his legs and hips to keep the uke under control. As soon as the uke tries to break loose, the tori presses down with his feet so his instep is off the mat and restrains the uke.